The third strategy is the most flexible strategy, as it allows you to define the actual path that the numbering will take. You can choose to draw one or multiple curves. These can be straight lines or even NURBS curve. So for this example, I have chosen more elements. So I selected rectangular mullion and glazed. And the initial selection gave me 202 instances. I have added no extra filters, so we are working with all these 200 instances. So in the strategy, I selected curved. And here in the algorithm, you can see now all of these elements. So in the settings item, you can add a path curve. So here it allows you to select a curve from the screen. You can get the selected curves if you have made a selection prior to opening the add-in. So let's make the selection now. I have these 4 lines drawn and another one at the bottom. Let's go back to the add-in and get the selected curves. As you can see, they are drawn on screen with green, and if we choose to renumber, the numbering will follow the curves. This representation is not very clear because all the numbers overlap. Hit this adaptive mark button checkbox, and the numbers will try to find their way on the screen, and you can see that here the number 1 starts from bottom, 0, 2, and the numbering goes from bottom to top, because this is the way that I draw my line, so it's from bottom to top. Because it's not very clear, let's make a let's filter out some of the elements. So let's make a smaller selection. So I chose by selection, and under the initial selection I will make a rectangle selection for some of the elements. Now I have only 27 instances. So these are the instances that I have finally chosen. If we click renumber, you can see that we have 0, 1, 2, and 3, and they all follow the curve. Of course, we don't have to use only straight curves. We can also choose to draw a spline. So let's draw a simple spline, and let's bring that spline in the add-in. And if we click renumbering, nothing changes, because the algorithm actually makes projections of these points on the spline, and based on their position, it will actually make the renumbering process. In the end, you can choose to add prefixes or suffixes to your element. So let's say if you want to add item as a prefix to each of the mark, we can do so. We can also change for a particular instance the mark, and then if you hit save, all these numbers will be saved under the marks property in Revit.